Slashes and Scream Queens. Welcome to another episode of the Horror Daddies Podcast. I'm your film daddy, John, and Carlos isn't here today. Carlos is having fun at a vacation. Love that for him. But he's not here for this episode, unfortunately. So today I'll be doing my own little episode. Probably going to be a short one, to be honest. Next week we're going to have your normal Horror Daddies episode. We were supposed to have a pre-recorded one, but unfortunately we had some technical difficulties that we pretty much figured out. So next week we should be back to a normal schedule. So tune in for that. Before we start the show, I want to say, hey, you guys like this? Let me know what you think about the episode down below. You guys want more of... I enjoy true crime, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. I like true crime, documentaries, stories, everything. I be watching them on YouTube all the time. I just like reading about them and kind of going into depth about the case and everything. So I hope you guys enjoy today's episode of True Crime with John. I don't fucking know. That kind of sounds basic as hell. If you guys can think of a name, that'd be kind of cool. But this could be like a second weekly episode alongside with Horror Daddies. It can be an extension of the Horror Daddies podcast. So, yeah, today we're going to be talking about the Jodi Arias case, which was... that's a wild ride there. Jodi Arias I cannot stand that woman and what she did. So you guys are going to join me for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, I want to say that I have a pretty, goofy sense of humor, all with respect towards the victim, Travis Alexander. May he rest in peace. But it's all respect. All the jokes obviously are going to, if I even say any, are going to be, against her. I don't want to disrespect, the victim at all. So, yeah. So before we start the actual episode, something has been bothering me that is completely out of topic, but something has been bothering me all week because I bought myself some Tostitos pizza rolls because I said, let me treat myself. So, okay. How do you guys like them cooked? Because do you like them microwaved, air fryer, oven? I don't fucking know I don't think there's anything else, but how do you like them? Leave that in the comments because I'm interested. I want to see what's the majority, like, what do people like? Because I'm going to be honest, I like a microwaved. Say what you got to say right now. I got my own thing on why I like a microwave. I got my evidence. So when I cook them in the oven, even if I undercook it by whatever time says in the bag or in the box, it always comes out super fucking crispy, which is nice. I like me a little bit of crunch. But all this stuff in the inside, they just come out. And it's just everywhere. You get like a little bit in there and it doesn't taste good. I mean, it tastes fine, but like you don't get anything. Also, pepperoni over three cheeses. If y'all like the other ones, that's some psychotic behavior, and you're probably gonna be the next episode of this podcast. Because no, pepperoni all the way. Air fryer, I think it's pretty good, especially if you undercook it a little bit. It tastes a little nice. There's still stuffing inside, but it still has that crunch. So if I'm feeling a little fancy, I'll go to the air fryer, but that never happens. Microwave though, it's kind of soft. There is no crunch, so if you're a crunch type of person, this ain't for you. But this is why I like it, because y'all are gonna judge me. Y'all gonna judge me because what I like to do is since it's soft, I like to squeeze the insides out, and then I just eat them, right? So I like squirt it, then I stack the skins off, so like the outside shell. I stack them up, and then they're like this stackable, like maybe 3. If I'm feeling a little crazy, I'll do 4 Tostitos pizza rolls, and then I'll like chew on it. I'll just eat the skins separately from the inside. I know, a little crazy. Sounds a little crazy, but it tastes good as hell. I've always done it since I was a kid. I always thought like, oh, I like tasting the inside first and then eating the rest, and it's stuck with me ever since. So that's that. Y'all should try it. I'm just saying, y'all should try it, and it's pretty satisfying to eat it. But yeah, people think it's super fucking weird. I don't think so. I think it's fine. I think it's the best way of eating it. So, I mean, you can also just like chew on it like normal. Obviously, you don't have to do that. It's just my method. I like doing it that way. So fucking yeah, whatever. So yeah, guys, leave me down below. How do you like your Tostitos pizza rolls? Because I'm interested. I want to see the numbers. But yeah, that's enough talk about Tostitos pizza roll, and let's get down to murder. Oh Jesus, I'm not very good with segues, so so bear with me. So today's case, we're gonna be talking about Jodi Arias, you know, her crimes against Travis Alexander, which, Jesus, okay, so let's go. Travis Alexander. Oh wait, if y'all don't like this, it's trigger warning, anything, y'all can skip this episode. We'll go back to normal next week. This is for people that like true crime and stuff. So if y'all don't like it, this is not your cup of tea. Totally understand. So, yeah, I'll see you next week. But Travis Alexander, born in July 28th, 1977, was dating Jodi Arias, born in July 9th, 1980. You know, so Travis was part of the Mormon Church, the Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints Church. He was also a motivational speaker at it's like this prepaid legal like thing, and they met at a conference about that. And it's like a prepaid legal service. That's what it is. They met in September 2006, and she took a liking to him, and she ends up even converting to the Mormon Church, and already a little wild. And she converted at the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Church that Travis was a member. He was baptized there. So yeah, she really, really liked him. They end up dating for about a year and a half or so, and all the friends and family just wasn't a fan of her. They thought she was erratic, didn't like her behavior. Obviously, being Mormon, it probably comes with a little disdain that, they were sleeping with each other. And obviously, they didn't like that. So, I've dated people like that, and it is a lot. It's like it's a step forward that they really have to take, and it's wild. They end up breaking up on June 29th, 2007, and they still hooked up, which happens, it's sometimes, sex is good, just, it just wasn't all there, that there wasn't any love, we should say. But they kept hooking up with each other on a regular basis. It seemed out of convenience, honestly. Even though they were long distance, Jodi lived in California, and Travis lived in Mesa, Arizona. Jodi, after the breakup, ends up moving to Mesa, Arizona. And then she would show up to Travis's place unannounced. Obviously, Travis was probably like, well, you're here, so you might as well do something. So, it was just like a normal thing. They kind of kept it to themselves. But Jodi was always the jealous type of person. So when Travis was interested in a person and started dating them, she would slash his tires, leave harassing emails anonymously as a John Doe. She would try and access his Facebook, and all the friends were like, "Oh, bro, she gotta go." So, obviously, there were all these signs that she is insane. But obviously, when you're in love with a person, or when there's something between you, there's blinders off, Someone could be robbing, but it's like, whoa, I still love her, So I'm sure she was doing all these things, and it was kind of like a joke, like, well, she's fucking insane Jodi, ha ha ha. And pretty much what happened was that she ends up on June 4th, ends up completely unannounced showing up to his place. Apparently, they were going to go on a business trip to Cancun, and Travis ends up kind of being like, I want to go with this other person, a coworker, a female coworker, and Jodi did not like that. So on June 4th, 2008 is when everything takes a turn. And let's talk about what happened in the crime scene. So she visited Travis. They began to have sex. She was also a photographer, and she would that's how just she expressed herself. And they end up taking pictures of each other in like crazy positions. Obviously, I'm not gonna show any of these on YouTube, but you can look it up. There's a website, I think it's called like Wild Case Files or something like that. But it's like there's pictures of him, there's pictures of her in like crazy positions, and then they end up moving things into the bathroom, and she starts taking these really pretty pictures of him, like with water all over him, and like he's showering, and they're kind of blurry, kind of grainy, whatever. It seems like they were having a good time. But at 5:29 p.m., there was a picture of Travis in the shower, which supposedly he was a very private person. So just a picture of him naked wasn't, but in the shower doing his own thing was like super, super out of character for him. Or that's what she says, at least she claims. Jodi ends up stabbing Travis 27 times. A couple in the chest and a lot of them in the back. Slices his throat from ear to ear, completely slicing the common carotid artery, which it's like a tube that pretty much supplies oxygenated blood to your brain through your skull. And it's a very deep set in like tube, so it's really in there. So the fact that she got there was probably out of anger, or she intended to decapitate him or something. And then he ends up having a shot. He was shot in the head also with a 25 caliber bullet or handgun, because they end up finding a bullet next to his body. After this happens, Jodi ends up trying to drive to Utah to go see someone that she's seeing, and starts thinking of an alibi. She ends up calling Travis's phone, leaving a voicemail saying that she was going on the trip that they talked about, and that she was lost, that she was driving 100 miles a completely different direction, and she's so dumb, blah blah blah. What I got from this, I didn't find the actual voicemail on YouTube like by itself, but there's the case or the court case that you can listen to it through there. But it pretty much seemed to me that it was like, let me build this character up that I'm just like, oh my god, I'm super dumb, blah blah, stereotypical girl. Obviously all the friends didn't hear about Travis. They were really concerned, because it was pretty normal for him to just go on trips, and it's like, oh, we don't hear from Travis, like we'll hear from him eventually. 5 days later, on June 9th, 2008, he was supposed to go on a trip with a friend, and they didn't hear from him. So at that point, they got concerned, and they went to his place. They ended up going into his place, and then they end up seeing a horrific, like terrible sight. And this is pretty much the crime scene and discovery. The friends ends up calling 911 after they find crazy amounts of blood all over the hallway, leading all the way to the bathroom. There's blood on the sink. There's just blood everywhere. It's completely insane. The cops show up, and they end up finding Travis's body in the stand-up shower where the photos were taken. And since it was 5 days later, it seems like it started the bloating stage of decomp. And it's pretty much unrecognizable. If you look at the pictures of him before and after, it's like a completely different person. So it's a horrific sight. He starts turning greenish color. There's a lot of like blood pools or a sock like sacks above his like on his body. Uh, I'm assuming the smell was also probably intensely strong of not just blood but also the body decomp I can never say that, decomposition. I have a hard time with some word, but with the decomp, it comes with a lot of smells because the body's already losing a bunch of gases and stuff. So that literally was probably just a horrific sign. And I haven't walked into like a human body, but I worked at an animal hospital where they had like animals, and they would keep them in like a freezer thing, and they would pick them up all at once and take them to the crematory or whatever they had to take them. And I woke up, I think I went there like at 5:30 in the morning because I would work at 6, and the freezer broke, and all those bodies were just stinking up the place. And and it's, if you're not expecting it, that is a hard hitting smell. It catches you so off guard. So I can't even imagine what was happening here after 5 days being there. Mine was probably just 12 hours. But yeah. So I want to, obviously the cops were worried about like who could have done this to him, because at first sight, there's so much blood, you probably can't even tell what's happening. And also, you just see the body in the shower, so it's like someone attacked them in the shower. Like, that's just what happened. So they asked the friends, can you think of something that someone have it out for him? Was he involved in anything? And everyone points fingers at Jodi. They're like, that girl is fucking crazy. Fucking look her up. She's done this. She's got into his Facebook, slashed his tires, leaving crazy emails. She's super everything. So they immediately pointed towards her. And I'm going to go talk about right now about the things that they found in the crime scene. There was obviously a lot of hair. They found, it said, a mix of Jodi and Travis's DNA. I don't know what that means. It could mean just, they were having sex, so there's probably fluid everywhere because, sometimes you get a little wild. So that's just normal. So they probably found that in the bed, on the bed sheets. So obviously it points signs towards her. I don't know if this happened to her because I didn't see any injuries towards Jodi. But sometimes, if you're stabbing something and, there's blood covering your hand, it could cover the handle and your hand can slip, and you can cut yourself with the same knife. So there could be the same mixture of, blood. There could be a mixture of blood. That's what I'm trying to say, is that maybe that's something that they found, on his body. There was also no sign of break-in, so they immediately said, okay, this person, it could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a girlfriend, anyone that he was comfortable with, because obviously this person was let in. There was no broken windows. There was nothing that pointed to some people coming in and robbing him or even just killing him. So they also found a bloody towel inside of a washing machine. And inside of the washing machine, they also found a camera that was damaged. It was supposedly, a recently bought camera as well. And it was just inside of the washer because, why not? It was in there. And then obviously they found a 25 caliber bullet near his body. God damn. They also, with all the amounts of blood, there was some blood in the sink that it seems like someone was trying to wash their hands. And there was also bloody handprints on the walls. So obviously they had a lot of evidence just in the crime scene alone. So one of the things is that the camera was a very detrimental thing, was that they got the SD card. They were able to get all the deleted footage from the SD card, and they found 4 pictures taken, one at 5:30, which is a minute after the picture, his last picture taken in the shower. That was at 5:29. 5:29, who was alive? At 5:30, there's a picture of him on the floor, and there's blood already. You can see some blood. So he seemed like he was already injured. And then the other ones are just pictures of the floor. There's blood, the walls. It's just like a mess. And it's like about a 4-minute span, I would say. And those pictures, they really come back to bite her in the ass. So they also find that Travis has defensive wounds on his hands. So if you try to put a picture together, trying to tell a story, it seems like she was already stabbing him. He was trying to like back off or try to stop the knife from hitting him, and it was hitting his hands. So there's cuts all over his hands. The shallow stabs on his back, and then more than likely, and this is so insane. More than likely, the gunshot to the head was post-mortem, which is so fucking crazy because obviously the stabs weren't enough, right? 27 stabs obviously wasn't enough to stop him. The fact that she slit his throat, getting the common carotid artery, the jugular, and the trachea, all to the point almost to decapitation, that wasn't enough either. Jodi said, nah. Also shot him in the head, which is fucking wild to me. Like, I don't even understand to begin, like, how all those, how if this wasn't premeditated, like, how the fuck do you go from one to the other? Like, that is so wild to me. Jesus. But on the same day, July 9th? Yeah, July 9th, Jodi was indicted by a grand jury and was arrested on first-degree murder charges. Jodi obviously pled not guilty. She was saying that she wasn't even in the location. She wasn't even there. There's even quotes that age just like fine milk that says, God knows I'm innocent, and I know I'm innocent. I had nothing to do with his murder. I would never hurt him. He was my friend. Yeah, those are things that she says during the interrogation, which I have clips of parts that I find like kind of wild. And if you're on YouTube, you're going to be able to watch it with me. If not, you'll at least still listen to it through video. On YouTube, you can only hear from one side. I end up fixing it so we can hear through both. So hopefully it all works out great. I enhanced the audio a little bit. So this first clip pretty much, oh gosh, I'm sorry. I can't. Every time I see her, I'm like, I get angry. But the first video, I found it kind of amusing because, as we know, Jodi, in the interrogation, I don't even know what I said, but in the interrogation, she says that she's a photographer and that she likes to express herself in photos and everything. So this is something that she says. So listen up. Oh wait. Wait. There we go. Let's go.
Felt funny. I think because I'm a photographer, I tend to communicate more through pictures. So I posted a ton of pictures that I had of him, and I have a ton more that I just can't access right now.
Yeah, I bet.
And videos and things that I know his family would want. But
so, yeah, she says that she likes to express herself with photos and that she can access all these photos for her family, which is something that she says in the interrogation all the time, is that she's so worried about the family and that she's worried about what they think about him because since they were sleeping together, they don't want him to think that he's a terrible person, which is fucking wild to me. I find that amusing just because it's like, this is like her profession, this is her hobby, and they find these pictures that the camera accidentally took and it ends up being like her demise. Like, this is what really brings her down, is those photos. So I find it very like like the world works in such a crazy way that a photographer's detriment was her own pictures. So also denying that she wasn't even there is so fucked up, because there's literally pictures of her naked, like her naked in his bedroom, with pictures of him naked in the bedroom. So it's like, girl, you can't lie. You were there. You were fucking there. Even the body, that when they found it, they could even determine it happened. So they even tell her, there's pictures of you, girl. And then she's like, nah, what? Me? There's no way. And it's like, girl, like, obviously they're not gonna show it to you, but it's wild. It's so insane that she really tries, and she is known to be very manipulative, and we're gonna be talking about that as well. So let's watch our second clip, which pretty much is gonna be something that she ends up saying that I just can't believe her. I can't. So let's go.
I wasn't there.
But you need to think about what you're saying. This continuing to lie is not going to help you.
Yeah.
Admitting to something I didn't do won't help me either. Okay, let's say for a second that I did. And I say, I did it.
Wow.
I mean,
the motive is there, the jealousy issue.
but I wouldn't even say it was jealous. I mean, there may have
slip
been some
up.
jealousy there, but
Then what is
I
it?
think
What
if anyone,
caused this?
I think if anyone, maybe Travis was jealous, but
That's not what everybody else says.
Yup. Wow. So there you go. You heard it from her herself. That, what if I did it? She's surprised. I don't know. She's like, what if I did it? What's gonna happen? Like, what? At one point in the interview, she says, like, I would have worn a glove or something. So that could have been old DNA, because it's just not the way I would have done it. And it's wild that oh my God, it's so disgusting that she's saying all this. Like, the fact that she slips up that way, because she doesn't even deny that she's not there at that point. The cop is kind of being like, you did this, like, you murdered him. And she's like, I was like, you were jealous and you did this. And she was like, well, it wasn't even jealousy. So it's like, what was it then? If it wasn't jealousy, what was it? And then she immediately was like, well, Travis is jealous. He was very jealous. And that is something that she's going to be, this is like the first sign that I saw in this interrogation. And later she gets another question, like another interrogation, and then the court case. And guys, it gets kind of wild. I don't have clips of those other ones. This first interrogation is kind of insane to me. And I have 2 more clips to watch or listen to. And it just shows that she really tries to manipulate everybody involved. This next clip just shows how shallow she is, because they pretty much tell her, there's pictures of you. You are going to be charged for his murder. And there's no question about that. There's DNA of you. There's pictures of you there. So on the same day he was murdered. So let's go watch that second or third clip.
This is a really trivial question, and it's gonna reveal how shallow I am. But before they book me, can I clean myself up a little bit?
You're going to be taken the way you are. I can't give you anything else.
How soon?
I don't know.
Like 5 minutes? 2 hours?
Say within an hour. Okay, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 50 minutes. I need to go talk to my associates here.
Whoa. Okay. So I chose that clip just because obviously it shows how shallow she is. I always think about it. It could be even deeper than that. It could be that she's trying to get as much of the DNA as possible out of her body. Sometimes we don't clean the best. Sometimes you can have blood underneath your nail. Sometimes you can have it all over the place. So Who knows? Even on your hair and your scalp, you can have some dry blood. It literally could just be hiding anywhere. So it could be that she's really trying to go that route, or she's trying to go, she's just shallow. She wants to just look good when she goes to jail. Maybe. It's really hard to tell. This last clip is after the officer leaves the room. This is her like kind of dealing with everything. She's now by herself thinking, holy shit, they found all these evidence against me. So this is what a person that's completely guilty will do. Guys, if you're not watching on YouTube, you guys should watch this. At least watch this. It's kind of wild. So here we go.
Should have at least done your makeup, Jodi. Gosh.
You should have at least done your makeup, Jodi. Gosh. That's what she says. Let's listen to that again.
Should have at least done your makeup, Jodi. Gosh.
What's the fuck?
I didn't hear you breathe. I wonder how am I still
What the
here.
fuck?
And I don't wanna lose a thing.
Bro, what?
It might change my memory, and I won't go, and I can't breathe until you're resting here with me.
What the
And
fuck, bro? This
I
like
won't
gives me
go,
chills.
and I can't hide.
So now I cut this because it happens pretty later. But this bitch is really doing a headstand. She's doing a headstand. Why? Oh my god, guys. This bitch is really doing a headstand after being told that she murdered her ex-boyfriend. And she is like fidgety, so I had to cut it. There's like 5 minutes between all these. She sings, she's fidgety, she's like talking to herself about doing her makeup, like, and she's doing a fucking headstand. And she doesn't even, she's not wearing shoes. Like, what is happening here? What is happening all over here? What the fuck? Oh my god. Wow. Wow. Yeah. So that's a lot. So right now she's just doing, I don't think there's anything more. I'm gonna play the last bit of the clip, but this bitch is really doing a headstand. That's so normal. I know they're watching this because sometimes they have a live feed of what we're seeing right now. They must be like, yeah, this bitch did it. There's no need for the evidence. She did it. Like, there's just no way. She is literally doing a headstand on the interrogation room. What is happening? Wow, that's a solid headstand. Wow. Wow. She really did that. So, yeah. She did a headstand. She's singing and also fucking up the lyrics because I looked up the song because I don't know. I'm like, maybe the song means something. It's just some random ass song from the time. And it's not I can't breathe or whatever. It's I can't leave. So she's already fucking up the song. Obviously, right after this, she goes. They didn't catch her in the headstand. I would have. Oh my god, I would have loved that she's doing the headstand. And they're like, "What are you doing? You're under arrest!" And they fucking handcuff her feet or something. That'd be kind of funny. But they don't. She kind of just goes back, sits down, and she's like laying down. Obviously, I do think that this is like her coping with her nerves because she's probably like realizing that this is it for her, and she can't do anything with herself. Like she's nervous. She's also very fidgety, which I had to cut out all that. But she's like touching the trash can. She grabs like a piece of paper. She does all these things, and it's obviously she's just kind of fucked. She knows she's fucked, and she can't do anything. So do a headstand. Um. So obviously after this her story was that she wasn't there, that she was on. She just wasn't even on the area. She didn't see him that day or anything, even though there's evidence of it. The second time that they interrogate her, she ends up telling a whole different story. So she changes the story that 2 intruders broke into his home while she was there and killed Travis, but Jodi was left to live. But they threatened her, saying that if she ever says anything to the cops, that she was gonna die or her family was gonna die. So that's why she was quiet. She was just afraid. She was afraid. Cops were obviously like, that's some bullshit. Like, that you did that. Like, literally, there's a picture of him alive 1 minute and the other minute he's gone. Like, there's just no way. There was no sign of breaking and entering. And she tries to say, like, well, he trusted everybody. He left his doors unlocked. Like, why the fuck are people leaving their doors unlocked? Do people really do that? That's wild to me. Jesus. So that was pretty much one of the stories. Because when she goes to court, she decides to tell a whole different other story. Yep. She decides to say, oh, Jesus. When she's in court, she says that she pretty much pleads guilty to killing Travis under self-defense. Yep. She goes from not being there to being there, but 2 intruders killed him, to she did it, but it was self-defense. The guy that she was talking in the first interrogation, all sweet about, he was such a nice guy, he was the sweetest person, blah, 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 all that, to, yeah, that he was angry, he was jealous, and that he had a temper. She ends up smearing his name entirely, which contrasts the first interrogation so much, because she's so worried about, like, oh my God, people are gonna find out that, he's sleeping with me, and that's not okay. I want people to, I want his name to be, preserved, and that he's such a nice guy, but all this bullshit, right? Yeah. She ends up saying some crazy shit during the trial, which she says that he was into children. That yes, you heard me right. She ends up saying that he was into children, had child, naughty pictures on his computer that they couldn't find, and that apparently he asked her to wear little boys like Spider-Man underwear, and she tried making connection to, like, oh, he was close to some kid, so maybe it was like that. And it was like she found it weird. So, yeah, she goes there. She really fucking goes there. And I'm telling you, she's very manipulative. So, obviously, she tries to manipulate the entire jury. With that, she starts saying that apparently when she was taking the pictures, he was so private, he was already angry about that. She drops the camera and he gets angry and he's had enough. He starts attacking her, and yeah, she supposedly ends up grabbing a gun from his closet and shooting him in the head. But John, like, she stabs him 27 times. Like, she slit his throat. Or, like, how is she gonna explain that? Oh, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you right now. The way she explains it, they ask her, how was he stabbed 27 times? Oh, I don't know. I blanked out. It's all blurry. I don't remember. Yeah. She doesn't remember. That's how she explains the 27 stab wounds. Yeah. She remembers details, like she dropped the camera, bounced a couple times, she tries to grab it, but he's attacking her. She remembers shit like that, but not, oh, I stabbed him 27 times. It's so fucking crazy. Yeah. So, obviously, they were trying to seek for the death penalty. It is a completely horrendous crime. It's not an easy thing to do either. Even, states that have the death penalty as a, punishment is very hard to do. But obviously, the judge was saying that this was such a horrendous crime, obviously premeditated. All the evidence points towards premeditated. But she was actually sentenced on April 13th, 2015. So a lot of time passed, for life in prison without a chance of parole. And she's in jail. Apparently she has a kid. I don't know, in jail. I don't really understand. I didn't look into that because obviously she's a shit person. I don't care for her. But yeah, that is the case of Jodi Arias. She is a wild one, right, guys? She's pretty insane. And my thoughts are just fucking crazy. She is literally the epitome of crazy. I'm surprised they didn't do the death penalty for her, to be honest, because there was so much evidence towards her. I know there was like there was like a pause because she was charged in 2018 for the murders, but they didn't actually put her in prison. Like, they didn't actually do the punishment until 2015 or something like that. Yeah. It was, oh my God, guys. So obviously there was a lot of red flags from the dating aspect to the interrogation, that she actually did it, or that she wasn't stable, she wasn't okay. Obviously she's doing a fucking headstand, because obviously that's a normal thing to do in an interrogation room. And yeah, I chose this one at first just because I find it so it like kind of hits close, because there's like a meme in my friend group that is like, Jonathan, these will be the kind of girls I'd be dating. Like, there's a shit ton of red flags, but I'm over here like, yeah, let's go. I'm blinded, and it sucks, because it's like, once you're in love with a person, or there's some mutual trust, you kind of put blinders on, and it's like, no matter what kind of red flags they do, they can't do no harm your way, because it's like, your friends will tell you, but it's like, oh, she's crazy, you shouldn't trust her. But I don't know, it's like, oh, well, she's seen me in these like emotional states, or there's so much trust that you don't really think about it. And obviously, if there's any alpha male listeners out there, and I'm not trying to say that every woman is like this. Obviously, Jodi Arias is just a fucking wild case, and there's a lot of great people out there that are not like her at all. So don't try to twist my words in saying that. I just, my friends are like, hey, this is how you would go if you keep doing what you're doing. So I always say that this kind of hits close, because it's like, I'd be trusting someone that will be doing headstands in an interrogation room. That's something I would be doing. But if you guys have the time, go on YouTube. There's the whole interrogation. There are many documentaries about her on YouTube that are very well done. And obviously, if you guys enjoyed the episode, go give me a thumbs up, review, anything. Obviously, I don't know if this is going to be a weekly thing. I would love to do like a second episode in the week, just talking about something other than horror movies. If this is your first episode watching, I do have a co-host, Carlos, the Horror Daddy, called the Horror Daddies Podcast, where we talk about horror movies and the daddies in them, obviously. But for all of you that have been watching, I want to say thank you so much for watching. And for our listeners, thank you so much for listening. And for all the support, really, guys. It's been fantastic. Love doing the show every week. And yeah, I really do appreciate it. So if you guys enjoyed this, let me know down below. So guys, thank you for joining me. My name is John, and I'll see you in your dreams.
Horror Daddies.
Bye, guys.